So the last video I actually did something that was super painful. I had to talk about RJ Barrett. If you missed that one, go check it out. It was the last video I posted. I need to cleanse my palate a little bit. So let's talk about my 5 favorite Knicks to watch right now. That's fun, right? That's a fun thing to do, right? These guys give me hope, right? When I watch them, I feel great. I feel great about the team. It's just everyone else surrounding them that, doesn't make me feel great. But let's focus on the great things. Let's focus on the great things, not the bad things. Let's just talk about the good things, right? Number 1 on my list. I wrote them all down. Number 1 on my list. Quentin Grimes. And I know some people are going to be like, what? Quentin Grimes is your number 1 favorite Knick right now? He is. Here's why. First of all, I'm a sucker for the rookies and sophomores on basketball teams. Just because I like to see the development of their game, right? They figure things out. It's like from one game to the next, they've exponentially gotten better. I love seeing that. I love seeing that in real time. So especially first and second year players on the team that I watch consistently, they become some of my favorite players. I was like that with RJ, I was like that with Mitch, I was like that with Obi and Quickly, and now I'm like that with Grimes. McBride doesn't get minutes, but I love McBride. He unfortunately does not make this list because he doesn't really play, so I couldn't justify putting him on this list, but I like watching McBride figure things out on the court. It's a great time. And Grimes, just great, tenacious, physical defender. Knockdown shooter. He hasn't knocked down shots to start the year, but he's still coming around, right? He dealt with the injury, got off to a slow start. It'll come, right? Knockdown shooter. And this season, which you didn't get to see a whole lot last season, a developing off the dribble game. He's attacking in straight lines, but he's making great decisions when he gets to the basket, whether it's finishing around shot blockers or taking on the shot blockers and dropping it off to the big man. It's been great. Watching Quentin Grimes is a very fun experience. I'm so happy he's back from injury. I was so disappointed that he didn't get to play preseason, didn't get to start the year, and now that he's fine, and then even when he got healthy, wasn't in the rotation because we already kind of had a set rotation, which, however you feel, but I'm just happy he's back, he's healthy, and he's playing hard, and he's in the starting lineup, which is where I think it's best for him. I think his defensive tenacity can really impact the game, opening up. It really takes a ton of pressure off of other perimeter players. And him being a second-year player, there's a ton of room for growth. I am exponentially higher on Quentin Grimes than I am on anybody else any other young player on this team right now. And it's just a joy to watch him play. Quentin Grimes, number 1. Number 2, I was going to say is a bit of a surprise to myself, but not really, because ever since we got this player, I've been super high on this player and have wanted this player to get this opportunity, and I'm so happy that they've taken the opportunity and completely ran away with it, and I don't ever see them ever leaving this rotation ever again, and that's Cam Reddish. With his physical tools and his play style of attacking the rim and slithering through these corners and these tight spaces in the paint and using the Euro step and the finger rolls and his athleticism to get to the basket and finish around guys, it's just a joy to watch someone with that amount of that athleticism and ability and creativity to finish around the basket do those things. I could not stand him in the preseason. He was taking off the dribble step back twos like he was prime Kobe. And I was watching it like Cam Reddish is going to be out of the league in a couple of years. Because there's no way you can justify a young role player trying to figure things out taking these long twos. It doesn't make sense. I don't know what the coaching staff told him. I don't know what he had in his own mind that led to him taking those shots. But when the season started and it kicked off and Cam Reddish got into the game in that Memphis game and he did nothing but attack, and then that opened up the ability for him to knock down some three-point shots. I was like, this is the Cam Reddish I've been hoping for since he was drafted to Atlanta, since he came out of Duke. This is the Cam Reddish I love to see. And the fact that it's coming to fruition on a team that I get to watch on a nightly basis, man, am I loving watching Cam Reddish every night. It is, and to the point where, I mean, he's the same year as RJ, so it's his 4th year in the league. In the same vein that I like watching younger players figure things out game after game, that's how I felt with Cam Reddish. It feels like he's figuring it out game after game after game, and he's like, this is where I stand. This is where I in terms of the ecosystem of the team and our play style, this is where I can fit in. And then he's getting in there and he's carving out his own space, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's closing games for the Knicks. He's started a bunch of games for the Knicks. He's an important role player right now for the Knicks, and I think his role is only going to get larger, and I could not be any more excited to watch Cam Reddish on a nightly basis. I'm very excited for this young man. Number 3 is just a fan favorite. You guys love him. I love him. I want more for him. Everybody else in the world wants more for him. Anybody who's ever watched a New York Knicks basketball game sits there and wonders, how come this guy can't get more minutes? What does he have to do in order to get more minutes? And yes, that is obviously Mr. Obi Toppin. Now, Obi's in his third year, but it feels like he's in his second because of the lack of playing time he got during his rookie year. It feels like watching Obi, like if he were given the opportunity, he'd be a significantly better player. It feels that way. I have no proof, no evidence other than like the end of last season, which you could take with a grain of salt because it's the end of the season. You always take those games with a grain of salt. But it feels like, man, if Julius Randle weren't on this team right now and Obi Toppin had to be your starter, he would be an acceptable starter on a good NBA team. He came in as an older rookie, so I don't know if I ever even expected him to, develop out into this great superstar player, but goddamn if he's not a useful player. Tibbs hasn't used him in probably the best positions for his one, development, and two, Tibbs hasn't put him in the best positions to be great individually. He's kind of just said, go stand in the corner and learn how to shoot threes. And guess what? That's what Obi did. He learned how to shoot NBA threes pretty consistently. He's one of the better shooters on the Knicks right now. Even in a bit of a shooting slump, he still has one of the best percentages on the team from three. His defense has improved to be passable. It's passable, right? It's okay. He's not a world beater defensively. He's not great, but his hustle, his energy, his effort, his want to are the things that separate him and make him not a good defender, an average to slightly below average defender. There are times, yes, he can get beat off the dribble if a perimeter guy has the ability to do that. Like, I don't see him guarding Pascal Siakams. He had a bit of a trouble the other night with Jaren Jackson Jr. taking him off the dribble a couple of times, but even still, his length and his athleticism helps him be a rim protector and recover when he gets beat off the dribble. And he's shown that this year to be able to do that. He's blocked some shots. He's looked pretty impressive on plays where he gets to the basket. And it's just, I haven't even mentioned the highlight reel plays that he provides on a nightly basis. I've just mentioned the energy and effort stuff. And that's just a breath of fresh air to watch an NBA player play with. Every single time, 10 times out of 10. If a player plays with energy and effort, it is a joy to watch them. And that's what Obi brings to this team, right? And I haven't even mentioned the highlight reel dunks and his ability to speed up the pace of a game and his passing chops that he's rarely got to show off. And, the three-point shooting that's come around. And it's great to see. It's great to see. I can't wait for a time where I can watch Obi Toppin play 25 minutes a night. I just really hope it's on the Knicks. And that's number 3, Obi Toppin. Number 4 on this list is Obi Toppin's draft mate, Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley, the way he's developed as a player, he came in and I was like, you know what? We drafted this sharp shooting guard. It's going to be nice. He's going to play a really nice role for this team as he, ages and develops and whatnot. And what he's actually turned into as an NBA player is just mind-boggling to me. It's something I never even considered was even possible because he was a bit of a shorter guard. He's about 6'3", but his wingspan is enormous. And he's used every bit of that wingspan to become a phenomenal team defender. I mean, when he's on the court, like, guys, when he and Cam are on the court together, like, passes aren't getting through. Like, keep your passes on the perimeter. You're not getting passes through. If you're throwing cross-court passes or trying to, feather things through the lane and whatever. It's not happening with Immanuel Quickley out there. His rotating is I'm just talking about his defense right now. His rotating is a beautiful thing to watch. He's a really good on-ball defender. Not great, but really good. He's a really good on-ball defender. And like I said, a phenomenal team defender. He rotates beautifully. He communicates really well. And he's developing offensively as a point guard. And it's really starting to come along the last couple of games. You saw it to the end of the season last year. I wish we could give him that expanded role, right? Take Derrick Rose's minutes, give him more to Quickly. Give Quickly you are the backup point guard. You are the sixth man of this team. Lead that bench unit because I believe you can do it. Give him that opportunity because I think he's reaching out for it. He's trying to take it, but Tibbs just won't. He's hanging on to it too tight. He just won't give it to him. Give it to him, Tibbs. It's for the benefit of the future of this team. I really love what I'm saying from Quickly. It is a joy and a pleasure to watch him on a nightly basis. Goddamn, am I happy that the Knicks stole Emmanuel Quickly in that draft. And that's number 4 for me, Emmanuel Quickly. Number 5, I cheated a little bit. So initially I had Jalen Brunson because Brunson is awesome. He's just awesome. But there isn't a lot to watch with Brunson in terms of like development. And that's what I enjoy watching. Obviously I like watching good basketball, which is why I had Jalen Brunson on this list. But then I thought, like in terms of the joy of watching a player play well, I had to put Mitchell Robinson on this list. And initially I cheated and I had Mitch / Jericho Sims after last night's game. So I'm recording this the day after the Knicks played the Memphis Grizzlies at home. And they lost, and Mitchell Robinson had a phenomenal game. He dominated the paint. Not in scoring, not even in rebounding, but in just controlling that area. Didn't let Steven Adams control the game on the offensive glass, which he has done throughout the season. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Did a really good job defensively against him when Adams tried to post him up a couple of times. And was phenomenal in drop coverage alongside Quentin Grimes and keeping John Morant out of the paint and away from finishing at the basket. It was a masterclass in drop coverage defense between him and Grimes together. Goddamn, was that beautiful to watch. And it reminded me how much I've loved watching Mitchell Robinson on a nightly basis because of nights like that. Now, like I said, I cheated. I had Jericho Sims in there too. But because right now Jericho Sims is in the rotation, I kind of got to take him out a little bit. But I do love watching Jericho Sims too. As much as I like Hart, Tom Thibodeau will never use him correctly as a more of a facilitator and a hub of your offense. So ultimately, I'd like to see Jericho Sims as the permanent backup center to Mitchell Robinson and move off of Isaiah Hartenstein. As much as I really like Hartenstein, I think he would be a much better player in another team, and it's tough to watch him struggle in Tibbs' system. And to see someone who would thrive into the system like Jericho Sims behind him is a bit disappointing. But again, let's keep it positive. Let's just talk about Mitchell Robinson here. The offensive rebounding is starting to come around again. He was dealing with foul issues to start the year. Then he, had the sprained knee, sat out a couple games, came back, is now back in the rotation at the starting lineup. But he seems a bit out of shape. Now he's kind of getting back into shape. Played 30 minutes last night, something like that. And for the most part, looked good, looked gassed, here and there. But when he rounds back into shape, hopefully you see a lot more nights like we saw last night against Memphis. And that's the Mitchell Robinson we get because that is the guy that we paid the $60 million contract to. Goddamn, do I love watching that version of Mitchell Robinson every night, which is why he sneaks his way into my top 5, beating out Brunson and Jericho Sims. Goddamn, do I love watching these 5 players play for the Knicks. That's number 5. Mitchell Robinson. Those are my 5 favorite players to watch for the Knicks. I'm thinking of doing this for 29 other teams. The problem is I just have to watch more games of the 29 other teams. I've watched a couple of them, the national TV ones and stuff like that. Like I could do one for Philly, I could do one for Brooklyn, I could do one for the Lakers. But then again, I might do them later down the line. But this was just a fun, quick video I thought I could film. Let me know down in the comments who are your 5 favorite players of your favorite team. Doesn't have to be the Knicks. Could be the Knicks. But it could be of a team you enjoy watching. Leave a like, subscribe for more videos. They're on the way. And I live stream every Knicks game night except for national TV games and 12 o'clock start times on Sundays. Don't live stream those. But other than that, I'm out of here.